What's up, guys? Welcome back to Picks and Roll DFS. We went 3-1 yesterday, and we would have swept if John Quell didn't get those extra boards in overtime. That puts us at 6-1 over the last 2 days. And remember, those are just the free plays. Imagine what the premium VIP looks like. In September alone, if you only tailed the free plays, you'd have already covered the cost of a full month in VIP. And you can actually get your first month completely free just by joining Betr with code DIME. They're running a new promo right now. Justin Herbert only needs one passing yard to cash this free square. Take advantage of that while it's live. Also, real quick, if you've been telling these winning plays, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe so you're one of the first to catch these free picks every single day. Let's keep building that roll. Bankroll tip of the day. Don't just stick to the stars. Some of the best value is in niche props, like you'll see today. The people who aren't necessarily the headline names. Sportsbooks don't sharpen those lines as much, which gives us a real edge. Find those hidden spots, and that's how you grow your roll long term. Our first play for today is going to be Eric Stokes going lower than 3.5 solo tackles. Talking about that niche market and finding those less popular mainstream prop plays are usually where you're going to find gold. And this is one of those examples. So again, this is just week 2, so there's not a lot of data to use aside from the last 5-10. And then we could look at 2024 for some additional data in terms of hit rates. But just from what we have in his last 10 games, including those from last year, he's gone under 3.5 tackles 10 out of 10 times, 100%. And within those games, he's averaged 1.3 and a median of 3. Now, he's gotten close to that 3.5 line with 3 a few times, most recently last week. But again, he has cashed this line 100% in his last 10 games. You can also see this season, only one game, but cashed this line 100%. And then in the 2024 season, he cashed this line 16 out of 18 games, only going above 2 times with 5 and 6 tackles, but within that time frame has had an average of 1.6 and a median of 2. Now we can see that the Chargers tackles offense versus cornerbacks is neutral. So it is just kind of like an okay rank for us. It's neutral. It's in the middle. It's neither here nor there for us. It's kind of a moot data point at this moment. We can see that he doesn't really assist often. And one of the reasons why he doesn't get that many tackles is because his defensive targets are pretty low at 3.4. Some things to note. He has failed to exceed 3.5 tackles in 15 straight games, averaging just 1.3 in that time frame. And then it's also good to know that the Chargers are a heavy pass team, which means that there may be balls thrown in his area, which would kind of increase the likelihood of him getting more tackles. However, there are also a lot of other DBs on the field, receivers. Does not necessarily mean that he's going to be covering the star receivers or be in that action. One other key thing to focus on is the line comparison, which we can see that Bet365 has his play favorite at minus 150, BetMGM at minus 155, DraftKings at minus 166, and then we see Fliff, Underdog, and Sleeper all even larger favorites than that, which is why this is a solid play of Eric Stokes going lower than 3.5 tackles. Now, before we get into this next play, again, one of the greatest ways to track your bankroll and to see where your success lies and to track all your bets across multiple sports and DFS platforms and sports books is through Pikkit. When you sign up, use the code LOB. Again, Pikkit is free. All you'll have to do is sign up, use code LOB when you sign up, and then sync your sportsbook's DFS platforms, and you're good to go to watch your bank grow. And as I mentioned, September has been profitable for us, and we have been very successful, not only on those free picks, but in the VIP. You can see that right here on the screen, as this is the most recent data from Pikkit in terms of our ROI. And then you can see yesterday was a great day, as we were one of the top 5% bettors on Pikkit. So this is just some of the proof that we are killing it on this page. And if you want to join while we're hot, again, all you have to do is sign up for Betr. You get that free $10 plus up to $200 bonus on your first deposit. You get that Herbert free pick for tonight, and you get a free month in my winnable. Just send me a screenshot of you using the code DIME to picksandrolldfs@gmail.com. Now, second play for today is going to be Justin Herbert going higher than 22.5 completions. Now, this one, you're also going to see one of the really cool things about Outlier, which is their EV plays. Now, I've done one of those bankroll tip before where we talk about EV plays, the benefit of them, and how just because they're EV plays does not mean they're guaranteed to hit, but a higher probability over the long run. So as you can see, this play on Underdog is at minus 111, but we can see that FanDuel has it at minus 125, Bet365 minus 125, BetMGM minus 130. All the platforms have this as a largely favorite play. However, we can see that it's only at 111, which gives us a larger payout. We can see the VIG on other sports books or the juice at 6.52%. We can see that the softest odds for this play is at minus 110 on DraftKings. To give us all these extra details, and we use one of the sharpest, if not the sharpest, book out there, Pinnacle, and we can see that if we were using this platform, that this play is at minus 130 on the over 22.5 completions, and then lower is plus 100. So we can see that we're getting a really great deal on this play. And it's important to note that when we are also then looking at the data, because we can see here that in his last 10, he's only completed or cashed this line 4 out of 10 times, averaging just under our line of 22.5, with an average of 21 and a median of 21 as well. Then if we look at the year, he has cashed it so far this season, which is a good sign, and it was against the Chiefs, whom they beat. So even in a win, he did get up a lot of passes. And then last year, not the best, where we can see that he hardly cashed this line. He only went above 22.5 completions 4 out of 18 games. And then head-to-head, we can see that he's 50%. And again, this data is from last year. But first game, only 17 completions. Second game, he went 28. So within those two combined, he has an average of 22 and a median of 22.5. We can also see this line has been moving a bit since it opened up at 22.5. It's jumped up to 23.5 twice and then back down to that 22.5 line. So you want to make sure that you're grabbing this play early and as fast as you can. That's why we drop these videos early, so that you can get the best price for the play. We can also see that when we mentioned this in the previous play for Eric Stokes, that the Chargers are a heavy pass play team. So out of 37 pass plays, if he is just cashing that 23 passes, we can see that the insights tell us that he has failed to exceed 23.5 completions in 14 of his last 18 games, only averaging 19.7. But again, we can see that the books know something that we don't, seeing as they all have this as a heavy favorite in comparison to what we see on Underdog and PrizePicks, which is why I'm choosing this plus EV play. And this is just one of the many benefits of using Outlier. So if you are interested in doing the same type of research and getting those plus EV plays like me, join Outlier. Use the code LOB at sign up. The link is in the description. Our last play for today is going to be Omarion Hampton going higher than 59.5 rush plus receiving yards. Now for Omarion Hampton, the line was set a bit larger on Underdog. I just dropped it down a little bit. It does decrease the payouts just a bit, but it also increases the likelihood of us cashing the play. If you feel confident at the original line, by all means, you can play that. I just wanted a more confidence play, and we can see a little bit of correlation with this because if Herbert is passing the ball, a couple of those may go to Omarion, which then increase his receiving yards and gets us the completions for Herbert to win-win. Now we can see that this line is all started all the way at 75.5 and it's dropped down to 70. 75.5 is where it started, and it's dropped down to 70.5. So we're looking at an 11-yard difference here in what we have chosen, which gives us some room for error. As we can see, just this season alone, it's the only data we have. He cashed the 59.5 line at 61 yards combined last game. Key things to note so far this season, that for running backs, the Raiders defense is 5th in rush yards allowed, which is not favorable for us, while receiving yards, they're ranked at 25th, which is favorable for us, for Herbert, and for Omarion Hampton. Now we can see, again, he is going to get a large amount of their rush share. He gets about 2 targets, or he's gotten 2 targets this season, but we're going to be looking for him to get some of these yards on the ground as well. Again, I believe that this is one of those years where Herbert is going to shine. Omarion Hampton is the starting running back, so he is going to carry that load. 60 yards is not much for him to get, especially when he can get a majority of those on the ground, with the Raiders defense not being the best in terms of going against running backs and receiving yards. His usage in both phases gives us multiple outs here, and with a line this soft, we'll take the over. So again, here are the plays for today. We have Eric Stokes going lower than 3.5 solo tackles, Justin Herbert higher than 22.5 completions, and Omarion Hampton going higher than 59.5 rushing plus receiving yards. Don't forget to sign up for Betr using code DIME to get that Herbert free square. $10 free on sign up, plus a 50% deposit match up to $200. Screenshot it and email it to me to get your free month of VIP, where we've been cashing slips just like the ones that I've been showing you in the data on Pikkit. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let's keep stacking winners, and as always, let's build that roll.